This is the inside of the Elddis Affinity 550. If I just come to the entrance door just here, we can turn the 12 volts on just here. Beside it we have water pump on and off. Whenever the water pump is running, the light will illuminate to let you know. We then also have the condition of the leisure battery just there. Above it we have the main isolator for the top entrance lights. All the other lights can then be turned on and off on their own switches. And then beside that we then have the awning light on and off. Above it we have the Alde control panel on and off just here. On initial startup, it will let you know if you're connected to mains electricity, and it will give you an internal temperature of the caravan. If I now press menu, it will bring up its basic functions. So you'll see the first one here is the thermostat for the heating, just literally plus and minus. Pick whatever temperature you would like it to be inside the caravan, and it will go as low as 5 degrees for frost protection, and it will go all the way up to 30 degrees. After the thermostat for the heating, we then have hot water. So hot water off, hot water on, and then if I press it again, hot water on a boost. Boost is handy if you just want hot water extremely quickly, or if there's going to be more than one of you having showers in quick succession of each other. If you do perform the boost and the heating's running, it will turn the heating off as it needs to use the extra power. So at the moment I've put the heating at 22.5 and I've turned the hot water on, but actually the system hasn't fired up yet because we haven't selected a power source. So if we connect it to the main supply and we want to run off the mains, we come to this one here and we can run on 1 kilowatt, 2 kilowatt or 3 kilowatt. So this is just dependent on the amperage of the site you're on to try and avoid tripping. If we don't have any main supply, we can run off the gas by highlighting the little flame just there. And if we have both power sources available to us, we can run in dual fuel mode, which is very handy, especially in the winter months if you want to get up to temperature really quickly. It will only use the gas as it is required. This one here is not accessible, it is only for the workshop. We then have a little picture of a cog, and this is the settings menu just here. So you'll see that we have a moon, which is night mode. Turn it on and off just here, and then we can also set the temperature we would like it to be for that period. Set the time when we would like night mode to start, and if it's for all days of the week or just individual, and then when we would like night mode to end. We can also, by highlighting this one here, invert the backlight for that time period. So this screen here goes to black, the writing goes to white, and we can also tell the boiler that we don't want any hot water made for that period. Very handy if you're wild camping. It basically then means that you're not wasting gas heating up hot water whilst you're asleep. Next we have a little picture of a sun, and it's virtually the same again, but just for the daytime. Next we have prioritize. So this is what the system prioritizes in using when in that dual fuel mode. So at the moment it favors main supply over gas. If you were on an extremely low amp site, you could flip it on its head so it consumes more gas and less electricity. This one here is just literally brightness of the screen. This one's not used on this particular model. And then if we're going to be using timers, it helps if the time's correct, so we just set it in here, and also the correct day of the week. If I now arrow down, majority of these ones are only accessible for the workshop. This one can be accessed, which I will show you in a moment. This one is called antimicrobial. and basically works in conjunction with night mode, so you do have to have night mode active. And then what will happen is during the night the boiler will come on and heat itself up rapidly to kill off any bacteria that may be in it. Next we have temperature offset for the onboard thermostat. If you don't think it's quite correct, you can just slightly adjust it. High altitude mode just here, so if you are using the caravan 1,000 meters or above sea level, just pop this on to make the system run at a higher altitude. Button beeps on and off. Instead of having multiple timers, you can just have one delayed start and stop to the system. Pump settings for the heating, just literally leave it set on thermal. You don't really want the fluid running continuously around when it's not needed. Next we have full factory reset, so if there is a problem you can reset the control panel. External start, you do have to have additional boxes added if you want to control this via an app. Language, service, again more for the workshop, but it will let you know what everything is up to. And then we have installed accessories. Like I say, we can, if I highlight this one, just activate it. And if we now go back up, you'll see it's here. And this is a load monitor, so if you arrive on site and you know how many amps it is, you can pop it in here. So let's say it's a relatively low 10 amp site. Pop it in. It then doesn't matter that we leave it on 3 kilowatts, it will control itself to avoid tripping. Because I've now activated it as a function, it will appear here, so we can go straight back to it, alter it, or turn it back off again. If I now come down to the bench seat just here and remove the cushions, and I now lift up, we have the boiler itself just here. We then have the drain valve for the boiler just here. So to drain the boiler down for either travel or winterization, you firstly need to make sure that the water pump is turned off, and then flap this up. This will then drain all the water out of the boiler. I always suggest that if you are fully winterizing the caravan, that you also go around and open up all the taps as well, as this will release any airlocks in the system and help in draining down. When it comes to filling the boiler back up again, make sure that the drain valve is flapped back over as it is now. Fill up the aqua roll, drop the submersible into it, then come into the caravan, make sure the taps are then reclosed, turn the water pump on, and then let it run for a few minutes. Then begin opening your taps. Once they're running freely on hot and cold, close them back up again, and then the system will fully reprime itself. Also in here we have the box for the alarm. We then have the back of the battery box just there, the main 12 volt fuse just there, the control board for the power touch motor mover, and the top of the consumer unit. The battery charger just sits here to just make sure that you're not obstructing these vents. And then if I now just flap the front down, we then have the consumer unit's front. So along the top here we have the individual MCBs, and they're labelled up. We then have the main RCD and the test button just there, so if anything's not working on main supply, just check to see whether or not you've tripped. Beneath that we then have the 12 volt fuses, and again they're labelled up, so if anything's not working on 12 volt, just check to see if you've blown a fuse. Gas isolation tap there for the heating and hot water. That is in the on position, and quite frankly all the gas taps can stay like that. I always say they're more for maintenance than anything else. If you do smell gas in the caravan, go to the source and turn the gas bottle off. Storage just underneath this bench seat here, which can also be got to from the outside. If we then come above, In the top locker here we have the aerial for TV and for the radio. So we have the booster box just here, on and off, and then we have the aerial itself just here. To raise the aerial, undo the collar just here, and then just push it up, and then maneuver it into the position that you require, and then lock it into place. Try to avoid over tightening these collars because you do run the risk of splitting them. At the moment the aerial is sitting in the horizontal position. It can be flipped to vertical just by turning the tail just here. Do make sure that the aerial is back down again for travel. We also have the radio just here, on and off on the button that says SRC. As you can see, this also has USB connectivity and auxiliary. Volume control just here. Search for radio stations or change tracks just here. Easy graphic equalizer. If you need to get into its settings menu, just press the volume button in and then navigate it by rotating. And then to get back out, just press this button here. And then off again on the SRC. TV connection points just here. We then have the Dometic fridge on and off just here. So we have a little picture of a 2-pin plug just there, so this is main supply. If we want to run it on gas, just press the little picture of the flame. These particular fridges self-ignite. If it fails to light, it will begin to beep at you and you'll get a red flashing light just there. This works as a reset button as well, so the fridge can then retry to light itself again. And then lastly we have 12-volt maintain for when we're towing the caravan. So if I press this at the moment, it will beep at us because we're not currently hitched up to a tow vehicle. We would also get that noise if we were trying to run it on mains and we didn't have main supply. Temperature control just here. Removable freezer box at the top. It can be removed just by undoing the clips. Just there and there. Microwave. This will work when we're hooked up to main supply. It is an eco-friendly microwave, so you do need to press this button here just to wake it up. Then we have quick start, stop, etc. just there. Then we have all the auto cooks, etc. above it. Beneath that we then have the hot plate. So the electric hot plate just here that runs on main supply, on and off just here. Then we have the 3 gas rings, and that is literally just push in, twist and push the igniter just down here. Beneath that we have the grill. Same again, push in, twist and hit the igniter. And then we have the oven. With the oven you also have a light as well. Storage beneath the oven you'll find plug plugged in, which is for the electric hot plate, and then you'll also find 2 gas isolation taps just there for the fridge and the cooker. Freestanding table just in here. Shower cubicle just here. Do make sure that the shower screens are connected for travel. Then we have toilet, so we've got the basin, and then the toilet itself. Bowl does swivel to open to the cassette. Just slide the grey lever across and then push the flush above. Level indicator just here, so this will illuminate when the cassette needs emptying. And then close to the cassette again just here. If this has been left open and you try to remove the cassette from the outside, it will not come out, so if you do feel resistance, just make sure that nobody has left it open. Bed just here. To extend it, just pull towards you and then just drop in the infill. Storage beneath it. In the wardrobe just here is the header tank for the Alde heating system. Just make sure that the fluid level is between the minimum and the maximum. Always take your reading once it's up to temperature, as it will expand in the tank. You can top this up yourself if you want to, if it's required. There is just a screw cap just here. Do make sure that you are using the correct pink Alde solution if you are going to do this. Smoke alarm and carbon monoxide alarms just there, both battery operated, so just press the buttons from time to time to make sure they're fully operational. We then have the PIR sensor for the alarm just here. Again, just press the button from time to time and the red light will flash. Reason being is because this is also wireless and requires batteries. If the alarm was to go off and it will not switch off on the alarm fob, maybe due to the fact the battery might be flat, you can turn it off just by using this little device just here. Just pop it in to deactivate. The front bed is extremely easy to make. Just pull across, and then I personally flip all of these over, but it is down to personal preference, and then just pop these particular ones in just like so. You can also make this into an extremely large double bed as well by removing the chest of drawers just like so. The chest of drawers is just held in place on clips on either side of it.